6 months, 180 days. That's all 6 months can change your life completely. Now you might say, Jim, can you really change your life in 6 months? And I say, of course you can. Because you see, it's not the time that changes you. It's what you do with the time. Time is constant. It keeps moving, but you can decide what happens in that time. Now listen carefully. I don't say give yourself 6 months and I hope everything changes. I say give yourself 6 months to work, to think, to plan, to execute. Because here's one of life's great principles. If you don't like how things are changing, you're not, a tree isn't that powerful. We're not rooted, we're not stuck. We have the ability to shift, to improve, to grow. You can reinvent your habits. You can rebuild your finances. You can renew your relationships. You can transform your health all in 6 months. I'm not talking about perfection. Perfection takes a lifetime. I'm talking about momentum direction. 6 months of disciplined focus can point your life in a brand new direction. And once the direction changes, the destination changes automatically. Let me ask you a question. How long would you like to wait before you start living the life you to deserve 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or why? Not give yourself 6 months and start right now, because here's the truth. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. That to one, the clock is ticking. The next 6 months will pass anyway. The only question is, who will you become when the time is up? Now let's go deep into how you can do it. It all starts here, right? Here with a decision. One decision can change your life forever. Now let me tell you something very important. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. That is one of life's fundamental truths, and change begins with a decision. You see, most people, I think, change happens to them like the seasons, like the weather. But success isn't like that. Success doesn't blow in like the wind. It doesn't fall out of the sky. Success arrives when you decide when. You say enough is enough. Enough of being broke enough, of being overweight enough, of being unmotivated enough, of wasting time enough, of playing small. It is the moment when you finally say, I will no longer tolerate this. Now, here's the secret. It's not what happens that determines your life's future. It's what you do about what happens. Think about that for a moment. Two people face the same challenge. One gives up, the other grows stronger. Why? One made a decision. You see, decisions are powerful. They are little hinges that swing big doors. But here's the tragedy. Most people never really decide. They say, I'll try it. I'll see how it goes. I'll give it a shot. But trying is not deciding. Deciding is final. When you truly decide, you cut off all other options. The word decide comes from the Latin decidere, which means to cut off. No more plan B. No more backup. No more excuses. Just one path forward. Now, some people are waiting for perfect conditions to make a decision. They say, when the kids are older, when the economy improves, when I feel ready, when is the right time. But let me tell you, don't wait. The time will never be just right. The seasons change. The economy shifts. The world moves. But your power to decide is always here today, right now. I remember when I first learned this, I was broke at 25. And then one day I met a man, a mentor. He said, Jim, how many books have you read in the last 90 days? I said, none. He said, then that's the problem. He told, should be something I never forgot, formal. Education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And that day I decided I would become a student of success, of wealth, of discipline, of personal development. That one decision changed my entire future. Now you might be thinking, Jim, but what if I fail? Let me give you another truth. The greatest risk is not taking one, yes. You might fail, but failure is not the enemy. Failure is the feedback. Failure is the lesson you can stand back up, stronger, wiser, better. But if you never decide, you never start. And if you never start, you stay where you are. It's a real danger. Now, let's get very practical, because I want you to walk out of here today and make a decision. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 6 months? What habits do I need to build? What habits do I need to break? What skill must I develop? What fear must I conquer? Write it down. Be specific. Be serious. Make the decision. Because here's what I've learned: success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And it all begins with one moment. This moment right now. 6 months from today, you can be a completely different person. You can have different results. You can live at a higher level, but only if you decide not tomorrow, not someday. Decide today, because your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now by the decisions you make. That's the first step. The power of decision. Now that you've made the decision, we move to the next step: discipline, daily discipline. Because, listen carefully, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Let that one sink in. Not complex, not mysterious. Simple, few simple disciplines. But the key is, every day you see, most people, they overestimate what they can do in a day, but they underestimate what they can do in 6 months with daily disciplines. I used to think big success came from big action. One giant leap, one lucky break, one magical opportunity. But that's not how it works. The real secret: small action, repeated daily, stacked on top of each other, day after day, week after week, month after month. And after 6 months, you look back and everything is different. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That's the danger. It's easy to read 10 pages of a good book today. Easy only. Takes 15 minutes, but it's also easy not to do it. It's just one day we say, I'll catch up tomorrow. And that's how people drift. That's how lives, stall, neglect. Starts as an infection left unchecked. Becomes a disease. Let me give you a simple truth. Small disciplines done daily create massive results over time. But small errors in judgment, also done daily, create disaster over time. You skip your reading today. You eat poorly today. You waste time today, no big deal today. But stack those tiny errors for 180 days, and your life starts to fall apart. Now, reverse it. You read today. You exercise today. You practice your skill today. Still no big deal today, but stack those tiny disciplines for 180 days and your life transforms. The same, 6 months too, completely. Different outcomes. Let me share my own story. When I was broke, age 25, my mentor said, Jim, success is predictable. He gave me the formula: read a minimum of 30 minutes every day. Review your goals every morning. Exercise your body daily. Save 10% of every dollar you earn always. Invest in learning. Simple, right? Not complicated. Anyone can do it. But most won't, because they don't see instant results. You see, discipline requires faith. You must trust that today's small action matters, even when you don't see the payoff yet, because at first, discipline feels like sacrifice. You say no to television. You say no to junk food. You say no to wasting time. And in the beginning, nothing changes. But 6 months later, everything changes. The farmer understands this. He plants the seed, waters it daily, protects it, nurtures it for weeks. He sees nothing. But he trusts the process because he knows the harvest is coming. That's discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Now, let me warn you, discipline isn't easy yet. First, it's uncomfortable. Your old habits will fight back. Your mind will resist. You'll say, I don't feel like it today. I'm tired, I'll start tomorrow. But remember, we must all suffer one of two pains. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So here's the key. Start small. Stay consistent. Trust the process. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. Read your books. Listen to good ideas. Eat wisely. Save. Consistently practice your craft review, your goals. Now let's fast forward. Imagine yourself 6 months from today. Your body is healthier. Your mind is sharper. Your confidence is stronger. Your finances are growing. Your skills are expanding. And it all happened because of small disciplines done, daily stacked, compounded. That's the secret discipline, is the master key, small disciplines, massive results. And it starts today. You've made the decision. You've started. The daily disciplines now comes the next great key, mastering your mindset, because listen carefully. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. And how do you change yourself? You change the way you think, your mind. It's the control center of your entire life. Everything you have, everything you are, everything you will ever become, it all starts in your mind. As you think, so you become. If you think small, you live small. If you think possibilities, you live possibilities. If you believe in lack, you live in lack. If you believe in abundance, you live in abundance. It's that simple, and it's that powerful. Now let me tell you something very important. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. If you plant flowers, flowers will grow. The problem is the weeds don't need your permission. Negativity is automatic. Doubt is automatic. Fear is automatic. Worry is automatic. But success, abundance, growth that takes planting, that takes intention, that takes discipline. When I was young, I didn't understand this. I thought life was what happened to me. But my mentor corrected me. He said, Jim, don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for easier circumstances. Wish to be better. That changed my thinking forever. You see, the problem is, it's not the problem. The problem is how you think about the problem. 2 people lose their job. One says, this is the end, my life is ruined. The other says, this is my opportunity time to build something better. Same event, 2 completely different outcomes. Why? Because one controlled his thoughts. The other let his thoughts control him. Stand guard at the door of your mind. That's one of the greatest lessons I ever learned. Every day you are bombarded with information, news, social media, negative conversations, doubtful voices. And if you let it all in soon, your mind is filled with fear, worry, and limitation. But if you guard your mind carefully and you choose what enters you, stay strong, you stay clear, you stay focused. Now, how do you reprogram your mind? Simple. You feed it better ideas, read good books, listen to great thinkers associate with people who uplift you, steady success. Repeat powerful affirmations. Visualize your goals. Daily, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's one of my favorite principles. Because if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, your mindset, you make a fortune for 6 months. I want you to become a student of mindset. Every morning, read something positive. Every evening, review your goals. Every day, avoid negative conversations. And when the old thoughts creep in, I can't do it. I don't have what it takes. I failed too much. Stop yourself. Speak for yourself. Say, I am capable. I am growing. I am becoming, because what you speak, you believe, and what you believe, you become. Your future doesn't depend on the government or your boss or the economy or your past. It depends on you. It depends on your mindset. You are the architect of your life. 6 months of feeding your mind good ideas, 6 months. Of protecting your thoughts, 6 months. Of training your belief system, and you will become unstoppable. Your confidence will rise, your courage will grow, your creativity will expand, and suddenly the world will open up to you. Because here's the secret: the world responds to the person you become. Control your thoughts, and you control your life. That's the power of mindset. We've come a long way. You've made the decision. You've started. The discipline, you've worked on your mind. But now comes one of life's most powerful laws, the law of sacrifice. Because, listen carefully, we must all suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You don't escape the price. No one does. The price is always there, but you get to choose which pain you carry. And I can promise you, this one weighs ounces, the other weighs tons. Sacrifice is not punishment. Let's understand that first. The world tries to make sacrifice sound painful, like you're losing something valuable. But here's the truth: sacrifice isn't losing, it's trading. You're trading what you want now for what you want most. You're trading momentary pleasure for permanent gain. You're trading comfort for greatness. And friends, that's a good trade. Now, many people struggle because they want the reward without the sacrifice. They say, I want to be wealthy, but I don't want to save. I want to be healthy, but I don't want to exercise. I want great relationships, but I don't want to invest time. I want to be successful, but I don't want to put in of the work. But let me share with you one of life's great rules. You don't get what you want, you get what you're willing to pay for you. See, friends, every dream has a price tag attached. The bigger the dream, the higher the price you want. Freedom pay with discipline. You want excellence pay with practice. You want abundance pay with wise decisions. You want mastery pay with repetition. The price must always be paid in full and in advance. Now, let me bring it closer to you. Let's say you want to change your life in 6 months. It's possible. I've seen it happen. But here's what it will take. Early mornings when you feel like sleeping in, late nights when you feel like quitting, saying no to entertainment. When others invite you out, spending time learning while others waste time. Scrolling small sacrifices, yes. But add to them up and you rewrite your future. You see, most people lose because they misunderstand time. They think 6 months is so long. But here's what I say. 6 months is nothing compared to 6 years of regret. 6 months of sacrifice buys you 6 years of momentum. 6 months of hard work buys you freedom. Others only dream of 6 months of discipline set you on a path. Many never find short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, let me share a story with you. When I was broke, age 25, I lived in small rooms. I wore cheap suits. I worked ordinary jobs. I was frustrated. I remember sitting in my small apartment one night thinking, it is this, how life goes. And then I met my mentor. He said, Jim, life will ask you to pay either way, but if you pay now, you can live free later. If you avoid paying now, you'll stay trapped later. So I paid I. Read every morning. I studied personal development. I listened to tapes while driving. I practiced my speaking late at night. I saved when it was uncomfortable. I sacrificed weekends. I sacrificed distractions for 6 months. I lived differently than almost everyone I knew. And after 6 months, the doors began to open. My income increased, my network expanded, my confidence grew, my opportunities multiplied. And eventually, my life completely changed. Now, I often hear people say, Jim, was it hard? Yes, it was hard. Discipline isn't easy. Sacrifice stings at first. But let me tell you what's harder, being 10 years older with nothing to show for it, waking up broke in your 40s, looking back on wasted years, realizing you settled for less. Discipline is hard, but regret is devastating. The truth is simple. Sacrifice is temporary. Results are permanent. 6 months of sacrifice may feel uncomfortable, but when the 6 months are over, you've built momentum, you've changed your standards, you've upgraded your habits, you've multiplied your value, and most important, you've become a different person. Let me ask you one final question. What are you willing to trade for the life you want? Because life is always trading time for growth, comfort for mastery, convenience for greatness. The secret of success is simple pay. Now play later, short term. Sacrifice for long-term reward. 6 months of sacrifice can change everything. And I promise you it's worth it. We have arrived at a powerful truth. You've made your decision. You've built the discipline. You've mastered your mindset. You've embraced the sacrifice. Now comes the final and crucial step, the law of momentum. Because, listen carefully, momentum is the force that turns small actions into great results. Have you ever noticed how a rolling snowball grows? Bigger and bigger the longer it rolls down the hill. At first, it's small, slow, easy to stop. But as it moves, it picks up speed. It gathers mass. It becomes unstoppable. That's momentum. Your life works the same way. When you begin making small changes, progress feels slow. Sometimes it feels like you're not moving at all. You might want to quit, but if you keep going, keep showing up, keep working, the momentum builds. And soon, what was once hard becomes easy. Discipline becomes habit. Habit becomes routine. Routine becomes automatic. The greatest challenge at the start is patience. We want instant results. We want the breakthrough. Now we want the success today. But the universe doesn't work that way. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to keep moving, even when you don't see progress, even when you feel discouraged, because momentum is invisible at first. Let me remind you of something important. It's not what you do. Once in a while, that shapes your life. But what you do consistently, consistency is the secret. 6 months of consistent effort creates momentum. 6 months of showing up every day, no matter how small. The step builds unstoppable force. Remember the story of the bamboo tree. For the first 5 years, it shows no growth. No visible sign of progress yet. Underground. Its roots are growing deep and strong. Then suddenly it shoots up, fast, towering over everything else. That's the power of momentum. You are planting roots today. You are building strength. You are preparing for growth. Now, how do you keep momentum going first? Remove excuses. Don't allow a bad day, a setback, or distraction to stop you. Second, celebrate small wins each step. Forward is progress. Each completed habit is victory. Third, reaffirm your why every today. Remember why you started. Keep your vision clear. Here's the truth about momentum. Once it starts, it's easier to keep going than to stop. But if you stop, if you give up, the momentum is lost and it's hard to start again. That's why the greatest success is simply not quitting. I've seen many people give up just before the breakthrough, 6 weeks away from a new job, 3 months from a promotion, 5 months from financial freedom. Why? Because they lost momentum. They stopped showing up. They stopped pushing. Don't be that person. Instead, commit today to keep going, keep doing the small things, keep working on yourself, keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when it's slow, because soon the momentum will take over. You'll find yourself working harder, thinking clearer, and living bigger without struggle. Momentum will carry you to your goals. Momentum will change your life. Momentum will turn your 6-month journey into a lifelong success. Give for yourself 6 months. Build your momentum. Keep going until it's automatic success. It's predictable. It's not luck. And it's not magic. It's hard work, discipline, and momentum. You now hold the formula. 6 months. That's all you need. A decision. Discipline, the right mindset, sacrifice, and momentum days are expensive. When you spend a day, you have one less day to spend. So make sure you spend each one wisely. Most people wait. They say, someday I'll start, someday I'll change, someday I'll get serious. But friends, listen carefully. Someday is not a day of the week. The clock is ticking. The days are passing. The months will go by. Whether you act or not, 6 months from now, you can either look back and say, I'm so glad I started. Or you can look back and whisper, I wish I had. Life is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. You don't have to do everything. You just have to do the right things every day. Consistently make the decision, start the disciplines, guard your mindset, pay the price, and build the momentum. 6 months. That's all it takes to change everything. And I promise you, if you will change, everything will change for you. This is your moment. This is your time. Begin today.